Guys, I'm here to get into a character analysis of the Royal Tenenbaums, which was directed by Wes Anderson, released in the year 2001. And it's just a completely mesmerizing character study of a family in which every character has their own original arc. It's really one of the best of the character pieces of the 2000s. These arcs are just wonderfully represent just having genius qualities, which can go stalled by way of just facing themes such as grief, kind of madness and perfectionism, and just they ultimately just are seeking a sense of validation by way of redemption, feeling connected, and just feeling like a greater sense of identity. Um, and it all turns out a lot of the root of this is having a very complex relationship with Gene Hackman. And Hackman's a very narcissistic kind of character who ultimately fakes an illness to reunite his family. And I love how his art just wonderfully embodies a sense of redemption as he gets more a lot more vulnerable and acknowledging that accepting himself as all the characters kind of do throughout this in their own way. Angelica Houston's an author who raised the characters, and she was very focused on their education, and she's ultimately just very steady at seeking. She seeks happiness in her life, and she's now with her accountant Danny Glover. Ben Silver's very business oriented, who deals with a lot of deep seated anger by way of the loss of his wife, which makes him just very protective of his sons to such an extreme extent. Gwyneth Paltrow is an adoptive playwright who wrote a very successful play at a young age, and yet she lives in this consistent sense of creative block. Paltrow's loneliness is marked by way of just intense emotional isolation. And Luke Wilson's a tennis champion who experienced a public breakdown. He generally seems like he's just suffering from a lot of depression based on his suppressed, intense feelings for Paltrow. He represents the emotional heart of the characters as he wrestles with such an extreme extent of depression. And Owen Wilson's a friend of the family who has an intense drug addiction, and he also just struggles with insecurity of not feeling like he's good enough. And the characters often seem to be feeling trapped in their youth as if they haven't moved past like a lot of their childhood accomplishments until Hackman kind of puts every character in a position where they're forced to confront themselves. Just an amazing art, just transformative how all this goes from start to finish.